Oh wow, I don't even get a go live button. I see how it is, YouTube. Okay, yo, pretty sure no one's quite in here yet, but let's do this. Decided to do a birthday stream. Uh Turned 41 today. Happy birthday to me, I guess. Uh Shout out to everybody who wished me a happy birthday on Twitter earlier today. I really appreciate you guys. Decided I go ahead and what's up, Tando? How's it going, man? Decided I'll go ahead and discuss this really gaming history being made. Thank you, Tando. Thank you for that. Thank you, appreciate that. Discuss history being made today on not today, yesterday. I'm sorry. History being made with Activision Blizzard being acquired by Microsoft, and I wanted the opportunity to get my full thoughts out. I joined a couple of live streams yesterday, listened to a lot of Twitter spaces of people talking about this, a few other live streams on YouTube of people talking about this. I agree with a lot of the sentiments that people have brought up, but I don't necessarily fully agree with everything. I also kind of feel like some people are missing some details here and there that need to be addressed. K Asante, what's up, bro? How's it going, man? Hustle, thank you again for wishing me happy birthday. I appreciate you, bro. Let me go ahead and tweet this out real quick. Give me a hot second. Hope you guys are enjoying your day. I'm gonna where is just gotta find my channel. There we go. What are we gonna say here? Live right now, discussing Microsoft acquiring Activision. I can't spell for crap on my phone either. Sorry about this dead air. Okay, cool. Tweet it out is done. All right, so let's discuss this real quick. Okay, so we got Activision Blizzard being acquired by Microsoft for $68.7 billion, the largest acquisition that has ever been done in the video game industry. And it's funny because it's starting to ramp up, because it wasn't so long ago that Microsoft had acquired ZeniMax Media, but which people mostly know as Bethesda, for technically 8 billion, but for what has been famously known as $7.5 billion. That was one upped by a couple of other acquisitions. I can't remember them specifically, but one was 10 billion. And most recently, I can't remember who did it, but somebody acquired Zynga, the mobile publisher, for like 12, and that was the most. Now this has completely blown those acquisitions out of the water, and I'm going to tell you now, you're not going to see any other acquisition. Forget this year, forget basically you're not going to see any other acquisition in the next at least couple of years that are going to match this, and here's why. You're not going to find anything else that's going to match this, because any other companies in Microsoft's kind of stratosphere, you have to understand, Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard for cash. They had the money on hand. This wasn't like, hey, we're going to finance this. This wasn't like, hey, we're going to just like figure it out and let the governments know how we're going to make the acquisition work. Other big, huge corporations would have to probably sell off some assets or figure some things out, or maybe just have Activision Blizzard agree to sell off some of their assets to make the acquisition a little bit more feasible. No, Microsoft just bought them straight up. Soapbox Game says, "Why are you so old, Slow Mo?" I don't know, man. I was just born when I was born. Shout out to us '80s babies. I'm just barely there, 1981, but '80s was the best decade. Just letting y'all know straight up. Shout out to Damien, Fuzzy Belvedere. What's going on, man? How's it going, guys? Back to what I was saying. They bought them for straight up cash, right? So they had the money in the, as Hustle just said, they had the money in a shoebox. They were just like, well, but 68 billion, that's what we need. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me go to the room real quick, right? So they had the means to do this. Now, they're not the only corporation in the entire world that has the means to do this. Apple could do this. Google could do this. Amazon could do this. But do they have the means? As we saw with Google, once Google completely changed their perspective of the video game industry and how motivated they were to be competitive in the video game industry, once they saw what Microsoft spent on ZeniMax Media, which is nowhere near what they spent on Activision. And that told them right there, like, do we have the money to work within, this stratosphere to compete against Microsoft? Absolutely, we do. Do we want to, though, is the question. Do we want to spend the kind of money that they're spending? And the answer is absolutely no. And that is what makes Microsoft unique in this gaming industry right now, is that if Sony had the money that Microsoft had, Sony would be doing the things that Microsoft is doing, but they don't. If Nintendo had the money that Microsoft has, they would be doing things similar. They would do similar things as well, but they don't. The people who do have the money that Microsoft has do not have the motivation or the nothing basically that would actually influence them to do this kind of thing. And so Microsoft is in a unique situation. Like, even Tencent isn't rich enough to do this. Now Tencent is still out here acquiring developers, doing what they do, really kind of acting like a shady drug dealer, or a shady loan shark or whatever, man. They're just like, oh, you need some money, struggling independent developer. Here's a little bit of cash. Don't worry about that. Just pay us back, low interest free. We got you. Because they already know, like, you have a losing business strategy. We'll give you money, but you're not changing your business strategy. Your games may be of quality, but you're not making any money. And so because of that, you're going to come back to us for another loan eventually. And it has worked out that way every single time. NetEase has done that as well. It's a strategy some of these Chinese publishers have used, and it's worked out well for them. It's why Tencent is where they are right now. Literally the number one company in generating revenue in gaming. Now it's Tencent. 2 has always been Sony, and now 3 is Microsoft with this acquisition. Now back to what I was talking about. I think what people don't quite realize is that the gaming industry is not going to go back to what it was. I think people need to get out of their heads this thought that, like, I don't like what's happening here. I understand. I'm not saying you shouldn't. You should just accept what's happening here and say, oh well, it is what it is. I like it now. I'm not saying you have to like it, but actually, matter of fact, let me rephrase that. You don't have to like it, but you're going to have to accept it. And, hold on real quick. Let me shout a couple people here. Damien says, yes, sir. 80s baby, 90s kid. Right. Yes. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Obama says, did you see Activision wanted to sell and then Microsoft came in to buy? Yes. And I'm going to touch on that, Obama. Big Mike says, slow-mo, with your birthday money, you should buy Sony. Right. I wish I had that kind of cheese. I really do. Fuzzy Belvedere's kind of wonders if Amazon flinches. Fuzzy, I don't even think Amazon cares. Amazon is I think very similar to Google, where they are invested in the video game industry, but not to the degree that Microsoft is. They want a piece of this pie because, as we know, video games in the video game market generates more revenue, more money than the movie industry, more money than the music industry, and everyone who is a huge corporation who has their hands in various different industries wants a piece of it. But they're not trying to invest in it the way Microsoft is invested in it. Deli, what's up, bro? He says, happy birthday. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. K-Sander says, we need an Overwatch TV show a la Arcane on Netflix. I'll be down for that, especially with the animation. Well, I don't know who does these trailers for Overwatch. These trailers are very, very high quality, as you can tell. And they got like a gazillion of these for Overwatch. So much so that, like, for a game that doesn't even really have a real campaign, it's just all multiplayer, like, you could really know the story of Overwatch and everything. So I think that will actually work out. Now, the French studio that did Arcane's, I'm so off topic right now, but did Arcane's animation is excellent. It looked like a watercolor painting in motion. It was beautiful. I would still prefer they do this kind of like animation style here, where I think most people who are invested in Overwatch are used to seeing their characters in this kind of like artistic light, and that will work better for them. But I do think that, yeah, Overwatch is actually with now that, you know, they're playing around with Microsoft's money as well as Activision money, that might be something that they may actually do before Overwatch 2 comes out. I have some thoughts about that as well. I'm gonna get into that in a minute. Now, so what we were talking about, I was talking about with the changing of the industry, is that it's never going back to what it was. This is now an arms race, and it started. People can say it started with Microsoft. I don't think it did. I think it started with Tencent. I think Tencent coming in and the presence of Google and Amazon coming in really made Microsoft take notice. Microsoft third place in console gaming, having their hands in the PC market, in the mobile market, but third place in the market that they were invested in the most, console market, sees new competitors that can do what they do and also are attempting to do things the way they are trying to do things when it comes to cloud. That clearly, if you look at some of the things that they said internally, internal memos that came out public, that were publicly shown from Phil Spencer, they had way more smoke for Google and Stadia than anyone else did. When Stadia first did their first unveiling, which is hilarious now if you watch it now, all the stuff that they were capping on about what they could do, how Stadia was more powerful than the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X, when months later you're going to have an Xbox Series consoles and and PlayStation 5 that were going to outdo what they were doing. It was just like, what are you talking about, bruh? Like, regardless of that, Phil Spencer had an internal memo that came out and was basically it was like a football coach hyping up his team before a game. It was like, if you read it, it was just like, it was very odd to me that he would have that so much smoke for Google, but didn't really have all that kind of smoke for Sony and Nintendo. But it's clearly showed where they thought the competition was coming from. And that kind of fueled them with Tencent acquiring developers, with all this consolidation in the industry, that they said, you know, it's about time we flex that wallet, because we got more money than everyone else out here that's currently doing this. and we can change some things. We already saw where when Phil Spencer convinced Satya Nadella to really invest in gaming, don't give up on Xbox. We can change things and do things the way you want it done, which is through subscription services, which is everything that Microsoft does in all their various industries right now. When he convinced him there, he got elevated from under Terry Myerson, away from Windows, to give Xbox its own division in Microsoft. Then he started like blank checkbook here, basically acquiring developers left and right. Now, they told us a year ago, we ain't really into acquiring developers like that no more. Now we into acquiring publishers. Why? Because ain't nobody else doing it like us. That's why. And instead of just acquiring a developer here and there and then having to manage that, we're already managing under Xbox Game Studios 15 studios. That's a lot. Instead, we acquire publishers and we let them manage themselves, as they already been doing. We just make sure that wherever their games go, it's only where Game Pass is. And that's something that I think is extremely, extremely important. I think I do actually have the video of Phil Spencer talking about, I remember recording it for a video I did last year about the ZeniMax acquisition, and I feel like I want to pull it up and actually play it, because it's Phil Spencer's full statement when they did the Bethesda Xbox live stream after the acquisition was complete, and Phil Spencer finally openly spoke about what was going to happen with the Bethesda games, and he said, we understand how some people are concerned about this. Let's just now be clear. After kind of being extremely vague for months, let's now be extremely clear. Now that legally can't nobody tell us anything, and legally we can actually say what we're going to do with a company that we actually now own. Legally, Bethesda's games would be where Game Pass is. So if you don't have Game Pass, a la PlayStation, you're not getting these games outside of prior obligations, which we will continue to uphold. Now, so that and the communities thing, the live service kind of games thing. So this is where things get confused, and I think people are kind of holding on to hope. And it's even weirder now, I think, considering that Activision isn't even the first time this is happening. This is the second time. People are looking at the fact that Activision is such a much bigger publisher than ZeniMax and saying, oh, well, it's different because it's Call of Duty. And Call of Duty is way more and bigger and way more, and is worth so much more money than, say, the biggest IP that Bethesda has. But so what? They didn't make the decision on Elder Scrolls and Fallout based upon how big the IP was. They did it because this is how you grow your platform. Why? I'm not spending $7.5 billion to continue to give 30% of the revenue I generate off these games to my competition. The only reason that we did it with Minecraft is because Minecraft, there is no Minecraft 2. It's the same freaking game. It's Minecraft. It was out and blowing up on PlayStation before we acquired the studio. So we're not going to rip it off of PlayStation because this is how people would think about it. I am a huge Minecraft fan. I love Minecraft. I can't wait for the next update. Oh no, Xbox bought Minecraft. Oh no, no more updates for Minecraft on PlayStation. Now, only thing holding it up is Sony not allowing me to sign in to an Xbox account on PlayStation. Literally, if and all of us need to really think about this, right? If you have invested money into a game, an ongoing game, for years, that game gets ripped off the platform that you've been playing it on. And the only way you can continue to play the game you love is if you have to start over on a different platform. Are you really going to do it? There's so many people who are going to be too bitter to do that. Some will do it. They ain't going to like it, but they'll do it. But the vast majority will be like, screw that company for taking the game away from the place that I was playing it. Not because I really care about PlayStation like that, because the fact that I got to start over. Now carry that on to why Epic Games wanted cross progression so badly with Fortnite. When people would create accounts on PlayStation and then Sony would be like, nah, we ain't really trying to let you put that account, use your account onto the Switch and the Xbox and PC because we want you to spend all your money here. Epic fought that really hard because they want to allow people to use their accounts everywhere because they understand how a gamer feels when I've bought skins and emotes. I got the Spider-Man skin. I got I got a freaking Captain America skin. But you telling me if the game is no longer available on PlayStation, I gotta start over again with the basic crap after all these years? That and people don't like that. So for the ongoing stuff, Elder Scrolls Online, you're going to continue to get everything that they're doing for that on there because they know you've invested too much in the place that you played the game and therefore you're not moving. I'm a Warframe player. Oh, real quick. Shout out to Gaming Forte, my co-host homie, donating $10. Says happy birthday, homie. You're speaking real facts right now. I appreciate you, Forte. Thank you for. And by the way, if you want to jump in, if you're free, please do so. I'm a big Warframe player. I first started playing Warframe on Xbox. I'm a mastery rank 15. I got like 30 Warframes. I have done a large portion of the quest. When I built my PC and I started playing on PC, I saw how much better Warframe ran and looked on PC. And I wanted to play Warframe on PC. Shout out to Lady Fox5 for the $2 super chat. Happy birthday, Slow Bro. Thank you for all the content. Thank you, Lady Fox5. I really appreciate your support, and you're just a cool person. I'm so glad to have interact with you so much throughout this gaming community. There aren't very many people like Lady Foxfire, so definitely a unique individual who y'all should definitely look out for her content. She's great. To get back to what I was saying, I wanted to play Warframe on PC, but I would have to start over. I literally tried to start over. I tried to do all those quests over again, build all these Warframes over again. But I just didn't feel the motivation to do so. All the stuff I've done before. And the only time I finally had any interest in playing Warframe again is when Digital Extremes, the developer, said that they were finally implementing cross progression across all platforms. That's when finally I said, you know what? I'll play Warframe again. And see, like this is understood. So this is why Microsoft is like, and Xbox is like, for the live service games, we are definitely going to allow you to continue to get those updates, new expansions, annual content stuff. You're going to get that on PlayStation because we know we're not getting you to start over again on Xbox. We're just not. So we might as well just go ahead and continue to get that off you. Now, let's talk about Call of Duty. Call of Duty is an annual game with new maps, new campaigns, same kind of IP. It's either going to be Black Ops or Modern Warfare, sure. But every single year, it's new. There is literally a player on PlayStation who played Vanguard 3 months ago on PlayStation, loses nothing buying an exclusive Call of Duty on Xbox this year. They lose nothing. The microtransactions and stuff they did, none of that stuff carries over. If it's Warzone, yeah, sure. But for Call of Duty, regular Call, none of that stuff carries over. So this is why they're like, we're going to continue to support the communities. The key word was support. We're going to support the communities because we know you're invested in that. Warzone averages like 250,000 people daily. They're not trying to, and a good portion of them people were on PlayStation. They're not trying to lose that. So they'll continue to let you play it on PlayStation. But don't expect all that on for all their other content. Overwatch 2. Don't expect that for Overwatch 2. But Overwatch, first Overwatch isn't leaving PlayStation. Don't expect that for Diablo 4. Don't expect that for the new Call of Duty games. Like, and I don't understand why, like, everybody is just like, it's too much money that they're missing out on. No, let's discuss too much money here. Why the heck are y'all telling Microsoft, $1 trillion corporation, what's too much money? That's too much money for you, brokey. Not too much money for Microsoft. A company who has invested heavily in Game Pass for years, and Game Pass has earned how much in the black for them? Not a cent, not a red cent has been in the black for them, but they still continue to invest in it. Why are you telling them what's too much money? Do you think they spent $70 billion to continue to give 30% of a game that sells number one annually for the past 15 years on every platform? To continue to give 30% of that to PlayStation? You know what's going to happen? The first year that they rip it off of PlayStation, the sales will be down. Because, of course, you're not getting it on PlayStation. But you know what's going to be up? There will be a rise. There's going to be a rise in sales on Xbox. There's going to be a rise in sales on PC.
They'll make it all back.
And they'll start to slowly make it all back because they will not be giving that revenue to PlayStation anymore. They're going to sell more Xboxes and they're going to sell more software on PC. And that's how they will invest in this property that they bought. But the live service stuff, it'll stay there. Forte, what's up, man?
None, man. Yeah, you over here cooking.
Man, it's been on my chest for the past 24 hours. Look, bro, today my birthday, of course, right? I said, I was going to do the stream earlier in the day.
Yeah.
I dropped my kids off at school. My mom called me up. Happy birthday, son. I said, thanks, Mom. She's like, what are you doing today? I said, I'm probably going to go live on my YouTube channel. She don't know what that is. She's just like, okay. You know how like the parents just go, okay, sure, right, whatever, right?
Right.
And then I said, but whatever I do, I'm going to make sure I got to do it before I got to go pick up my kids. And she's just like, don't worry, I got the kids. I said, oh, thank you. I'm like, that makes it easier. So I don't have to go live at 11. I can just, go live when I feel like it. Bro, you know what I did all day long? I binged watched the Netflix TV show all day, man.
Which one?
It's called Archive 81. It's a real, and it's like a mystery suspense thing. And it's like, you know how Netflix, whatever algorithm Netflix has, man, that's a good algorithm, yo. Because
they got the hooks to you, bro.
Because how I like this? Like they made this thing up, and I'm just like, they sent me a notification. We think you will really like Archive 81. I'm like, what the heck is Archive 81? I look at the trailer and I'm like, yeah, I had it to my list, right? So all I wanted to do was watch one episode before I went live. I ended up watching the whole daggone thing. It's great. Watch Archive 81. It's great.
Yeah, I heard about it. So I want to give some more firepower to your conversation about the about Call of Duty and sales and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Not only was Vanguard probably the worst Call of Duty, like in the last recent few years, still number one in NPD for the month for 2021. You know what else charted in the top 10, Slow-Mo?
The previous year's Call of Duty.
Previous year Call of Duty.
Black Ops. Number two. It was number 2.
Yes.
That's
number 1 and number 2 was a Call of Duty game.
I'm like, why people are like, nah, man. Nah, they gonna keep that on PlayStation because they want to continue to get them sales. They gonna get them sales. They just gonna get them on Xbox and PC.
Well, people. This is the thing people don't, realize. I mean, if you just started playing video games and during the middle of last generation, you don't really understand how Call of Duty really worked. Because back in the previous gen, like the 7th gen, when 360 and PS3 was a thing, Call of Duty was substantially bigger on the Xbox platform. Like it was like probably 2-1 because Xbox was the more popular platform back then. Mm-hmm. Call of Duty was kind of built up on Xbox over the course of the original Xbox years because that's the first place that Call of Duty hit console, which was Call of Duty 2, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then Call of Duty 3 came out, and then the whole fever pitch of Modern Warfare hit. And that's where Call of Duty went to the stratosphere. Right. And that all happened truly on Xbox. And then PlayStation finally released the PlayStation 3. And then over the course of that generation, they picked up a lot of steam. And it really didn't switch until Call of Duty decided to give the marketing rights, or PlayStation got the marketing rights for Call of Duty ever since the beginning of PS4. And what happened was a lot of people that played nothing but Call of Duty, like streamers and people that do these events and stuff, they all flipped over and they took their fans with them. They took their friends with them. They took their fans with them. So the whole narrative that people say, oh man, people aren't going to lose they're not going to lose their progression. They didn't want to lose their friends and stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, that was the same thing people were saying back in 2013. And guess what happened? They all left. They all left and went over to PlayStation. It was like, yeah, we're on PlayStation now. And that's the only game that they truly play. And what do you think is going to happen now? It's going to be a slower move because a lot of more people are invested into their ecosystems because a lot more people are playing certain games and stuff. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, if you play Call of Duty, you can play it anywhere you want to. And then like someone said, Warzone cross progression is everywhere. I think Warzone is going to be the one thing that is going to stay on PlayStation because it's just like Elder Scrolls Online. It's something that's already pivot into those ecosystems. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to those mainline Call of Duty games, I just think brace yourselves for a very immediate future. It's not going to happen this year. It's probably not going to happen next year. It's going to be the year after that. 2024, you're going to start seeing the writing on the wall for that type of stuff. And this stuff was on Joe Rogan's podcast. I can't believe it. I was listening to his podcast and he actually was talking about this acquisition. So, if they're talking about this is something that not only the hardcore is going to know about, even the casual base is going to know about it at some point too. So it's only a matter of time. Microsoft is making really big moves right now. And a lot of people really didn't expect this to be a thing, but it's pretty exciting just to see the way that the industry is moving right now.
Yeah, I wanted to do a shout out to Replicant Super Chat. Replicant, thank you for the $5 Super Chat. He says, people dreaming that they think Microsoft spent $70 billion and lets the status quo play out with Call of Duty, etc., being on PlayStation 5. Happy birthday, Slow Mo. Thank you, Replicant, and you are absolutely right. Now, I did also want to address something that looks like, sorry if I butchered this name, but it says this is... Isladur's Bane. Oh, if I butcher that, I apologize. But he says, I say Microsoft should leave Call of Duty on PlayStation, but pull a Sony, give them the bare bones version. Then as a 2-year exclusivity, give Xbox exclusive maps and modes and gear. Now, I disagree with that, and here's why. One, I disagree with that because I don't think if Sony was in Microsoft's position, they would even do that. The reason why you're getting like exclusive content, exclusive maps, access to betas early is because Sony doesn't own Activision, and this is what they can get for having marketing rights and giving them additional rev money up front in order to get a leg up over their competition. If they owned Activision, there is no one thinks Sony would even remotely consider keeping the game on Xbox. No, they're gonna rip it off because they want that exclusive. They want you to know that the PlayStation platform is unique and different, which is the reason why even when it came down to Avengers, they didn't want Spider-Man on in the Avengers game that's a third-party game being on Xbox or PC. Mm-hmm. They want what is considered to be their IP to be only on their platform. And I do think that if Microsoft did do something like that, where they gave a bare bones version to PlayStation, that would cause resentment and anger among the Call of Duty community on PlayStation. And instead, they may just choose something else. Like that's where gamers can be petty and be like, you know what? I'll cut my nose to spite my face and not play Call of Duty, period, because you gave me this version.
Yeah.
And so instead,
cut down version of the game.
Yeah, like you either have to be all in or all out, and I think they're gonna be all in on saying you don't even get that on PlayStation. You get a full version of the game in Game Pass at launch. Just subscribe, $1. Go ahead and get your account started. Let's go. So I wanted to shout out something, not shout, but it's my own daggone tweet. But like, I did a tweet earlier yesterday, and I was doing a lot of jokey tweets yesterday. This was kind of a joke, but then people, I guess, took it really, really seriously. But I said, Sony says we still want to have Call of Duty on PlayStation, and Microsoft responds that that's a weird way of saying you want Game Pass on your platform. Now, I made that tweet because the only way you're going to get Call of Duty on PlayStation, and this is the annual Call of Duty, not Warzone, I believe is because you're going to have to Sony's going to have Game Pass on its platform, some version of Game Pass on there. And because, again, to go back to what they said about Cinemax Media, yeah, they're more than willing to have the next Elder Scrolls 6 on PlayStation. It's just as long as it's it's Game Pass. That's because everything's about Game Pass. And so they're not going to allow you to buy the game natively on a PlayStation. But if you subscribe to Game Pass on PlayStation, then you'll get access to that game. Everything is about Game Pass. Shout out to the platform live. Says mind blown about Microsoft buying Activision. Forte, give me one moment because my daughter's here and she's giving me a funny look and I don't know what's going on. So hold on a second.
Bro. No, I got you, bro. Yeah, man. Guys, it's crazy. I got a video coming out in probably the next 20 minutes talking about this because I didn't break down any perspectives and stuff about it. Hey, little slow-mo. Yeah, we can hear her. Yeah, she's having a real conversation with us, bro. No, you didn't mute, bro. Oh, she was so cute. No. So that's okay. You let everybody into your house for about 15 seconds. That's fine. It was cute.
Oh no, you know what? They couldn't hear me, but I was on Discord. And so you could hear me, but they couldn't. All right, okay, all right, makes sense now because I was just like, wait a minute, I'm looking at OBS, I don't see my mic, the levels going up.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, they can hear you now.
Yeah, good, great. So let's get into this other thing here about what Sony should do, right? Because I'm seeing people saying Sony has to retaliate. And so I see some people saying Sony ain't gotta do anything. They just gotta continue doing what they're doing, which is investing in new IP, which is true. But what you gotta understand is that like there isn't like a one way thing here. Like Sony just can't be like, well, we don't have to do anything about this. I think that's silly. Of course you gotta do something about this.
Now they do, absolutely.
Yeah, the game that sells the most on your platform is potentially gone. We kind of know the writing on the wall. I think they know the writing on the wall. Potentially gone. You can't just do nothing. Yes, invest in new IP because that is what will continue to make your platform unique from your competition, and continue to make quality games because that's what you do and that's what people expect from you. All that said, you have to protect this from happening further. Look at what Sony has been doing, and I know that Activision Blizzard approached Xbox with this, but they took this from you. You had a for over almost a decade now marketing rights for Call of Duty. You had betas before Xbox. You had exclusive maps. You had stuff coming out before them. You had everything. You were the premier platform for this game. Now you're not. Because ain't no way in hell you're still getting all that exclusive stuff anymore, right? You're not getting the marketing anymore. It's just not happening. You went and got timed exclusivity for Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, and they went and just bought it. They went and just bought the publisher. So now going forward, Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo is the last thing you're going to get on your platform that's Bethesda. That's new. If you're Sony, if you're Jim Ryan, you would be an idiot not to look at the rest of the publishers that are out there and be like, look, we might lose this too. So this is what, hold on. We got a super chat from Pragmatic Eagle. All right. And shout out to Pragmatic Eagle. He has some very interesting comments that I appreciated on last week's DPS podcast. That's Damage Per Second podcast, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Thursday. This Thursday will be on Game & Forte's channel. Last week it was on mine. He says, showing some support, no need to retaliate, in my opinion. This deal only helps Microsoft compete in console space, but also hit mobile and PC as per their strategy. I do agree about how it helps Microsoft and on all fronts, in all markets, in all markets, because Activision is so strong with games like World of Warcraft and StarCraft, Diablo. They got the Battle.net, network. They got a strong
got the mobile
presence,
network, man.
Yeah, and PC and mobile, but we can't discount what the hurt that this does the PlayStation. This hurts because this is one of the pillars of American United States gaming. There are three pillars. Annually. And we need to understand, like, as hardcore gamers, we get into our bubble, and it's not just Eagle, right? We all do it. We all forget because we don't talk about games to casual gamers. Our co-workers who we don't even know own the PlayStation or an Xbox because they never talk about it. We don't know that they go home and play NBA 2K, but they do. And they spend thousands upon thousands of dollars on NBA 2K. We don't know they go home and they are in some Ultimate Team league for Madden, and they spending hundreds of dollars every year for the same daggone game with a roster update. We don't know that every year they play Call of Duty religiously with their friends. But they do. And there are more of them than there is of us. Clearly, because all of us be like, man, Call of Duty been the same old stuff. I don't play no Call of Duty, and I don't, and Forte don't, and a lot of people that I know don't. Right. But guess what still sells well? I don't play Fortnite, and the majority of people that I know don't play Fortnite. But guess what Fortnite making on a daily basis? Crazy money, because it ain't about you and me. Because you and me are the minority. That rhymed, actually. All right, so
that was a song.
It's like a kid's song.
Sound like something Jay-Z would say.
Stop.
You already know where that's going.
but what I'm saying here is that, like, that they have to do something, not necessarily like you can't just create an IP that's on the same level as Call of Duty. Like that just doesn't happen. Everyone would like to have an IP that's that big, where even your previous year's game that you no longer support is still selling number 2 more than everything else that came out in the current year. That's crazy, right? But
Right.
that's just not reality. Not everyone can make a Fortnite. Clearly, so many people tried the Battle Royale that could be Fortnite, and no one really did it. Accidentally, EA did with Apex Legends. That's close, but it's not like, it's not there,
Fortnite
right?
still.
It's not still not Fortnite. You can't do that. So I'm not saying Sony needs to do that, but what Sony might need to do, and I think I got 2 things I think they will do. They're going to, before this year is up, they're going to acquire a publisher, not because they're trying to retaliate, but more because they're trying to protect what they have. They can't go blow for blow financially with Microsoft. They just can't. Microsoft, they got too much money, and we all know that's the case. But what they could do is protect themselves from this. So how do you, Slow-Mo, how do you protect yourselves from Microsoft just buying up all the publishers? Well, here's how. You buy a publisher yourself. You look at some of the numbers here. Some of these publishers are actually smaller than Bethesda, and we do know that Sony has about $18 billion to work with in regards to exclusive content / acquisition / this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're already in the works to try to get like a publisher now. If it's Square Enix, it will make sense, right? Because Square Enix, they already have a great relationship with. They got timed exclusivity for nearly almost all their games coming out now. Square Enix threw Crystal Dynamics under the bus. Now Crystal Dynamics is making games for Xbox. Weird. But everything else that they're doing is like timed exclusives. Seem like Forspoken, Final Fantasy 16. Where's Final Fantasy 7 Remake? The timed exclusivity for that has been up for almost a year now. It's still now on Xbox, not even an announcement. Stuff like that lets me think, yo, they might just have acquired Square Enix already or in the process of doing so, and they're just like, they're not going to announce an Xbox release of that when by the time it comes out, or whatever it may be, they're an exclusive first party to Sony. So I think Square Enix is probably going to end up becoming that. Like, and think about that. Final Fantasy 14, which is now the biggest MMO in the world, and deservingly so, isn't on Xbox, and that would secure to make sure it's never on Xbox, because if Microsoft buys Square Enix, all that timed exclusive stuff you got is like, that's all you're going to get. You're going to get Final Fantasy 16, you're going to get Forspoken, and then after that, you're never going to get another Final Fantasy on your platform again. Right. And so this way, you can protect yourself from losing access to it was, as currently right now, third-party timed exclusives that could end up becoming first-party. And who is the only other publisher out here, the only other developer out here that's doing Marvel comic video game content besides you? They got Spider-Man, they got Wolverine. Square Enix has the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, which Guardians of the Galaxy is definitely going to get a part 2. Yep. It would be perfect for them to have Idols Montreal only have that on PC and PlayStation. So I just kind of feel like that would be the perfect move for them. And Square Enix overall value is actually less than Bethesda. So this would actually work within their budget, so to speak. Another way they could actually potentially protect themselves from Microsoft buying another publisher is to just invest in the publisher. What if you invested like 15, 20, 30% of the value into a publisher. Now you have enough of ownership in that publisher to have some say in what happens with that publisher and its ownership. That can protect you from actually losing said publisher to your competition.
Yeah, I see.
And that would be less than actually buying out that publisher outright.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, I'm doing a ton of talking. What do you think about
you're
that?
Good. No, I was just reading some of the chat and stuff, and some people, they're basically saying that it wouldn't be like Sony wouldn't be getting anything out of just buying Square Enix and stuff like that. And I'll also just go against that a little bit by saying it's the same situation Xbox was in.
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty was coming to Xbox every year. It was without fail. It was more of a situation where Bobby Kotick did not want to sell Activision. It's been a lot of information coming out in different interviews that he said that it's pretty much been something that's been happening over the last 3 months.
Yeah,
and Microsoft is literally taking advantage of the situation that everything's not going good over there. So this is a really good chance for you to get up out of here and for us to stabilize the company for a nice price and actually get it under our umbrella. Do I think Call of Duty would, if all this other stuff wasn't happening with Activision Blizzard in the background, do I think Call of Duty or just Activision in general would be packed up to be sold to Microsoft? Probably, most likely not. But Microsoft has the wallet, they have the resources, they have the ability to go out and overpay by $20 billion and make it look so attractive to them want to go ahead and sell it, they'll sell it. So anybody that says that something like Square Enix, they may not want to be bought, I can guarantee you Activision didn't want to be bought either until a number hit a table and they was like, okay, we would be stupid not to take this deal.
Right.
It's just a numbers game, and Square Enix would be the perfect fit for Sony because of all the things you said. It's just synonymous going all the way back to the PS1 and PS2 with all the games that they actually had coming to that platform, and it would bolster their RPG lineup in the West a little bit more too. I mean, everybody's gonna say, well, they already got a bunch of RPGs; they don't need more of them, but it's not the question of do they need more of them. They need to get into a situation where they feel like we can have this stuff guaranteed to come to our platform. Because right now, we all know if Sony was to make these deals, Call of Duty and all this other stuff, no question where it would be sitting at. It would just be sitting on a PlayStation somewhere, and nobody would bat an eye at it. But now that we're seeing Xbox do it, you don't think Sony is going to be like, okay, well, it's a good chance that we may never get another Call of Duty game after next year's entry into that ecosystem. So what does that mean? Well, maybe we need to start going into preservation mode, because preservation is everything for Sony at this point right now. Sure, they can live the life of Nintendo. I don't know if anybody can live the life of Nintendo, because I don't know if anybody has fans that are as loyal as Nintendo fans are, where they'll buy literally a console just for their IPs. Like as much as we say there are a bunch of PlayStation gamers out there that love PlayStation, you don't buy a PlayStation just for those PlayStation IPs. You buy them for all those third-party greatness that comes over there too, because it's like the perfect melding of all the games you love on one platform. Where Nintendo, on the other hand, literally sells millions and millions of consoles based off just their intellectual property only.
Right.
And then everything else is a bonus. So that's why Sony needs to hurry up and do something, because as much as we love Horizon Zero Dawn and God of War and all these other IPs like Last of Us and stuff like that, as much as we love them, that's not going to be enough to sustain them long term on a platform ecosystem by themselves. They'll need something else to supplement those games throughout the course of a year, a generation. And that's why they need to make a move now versus waiting to see what Microsoft does next.
Right. A couple of things real quick. After his passion, haven't seen that guy in a minute. Appreciate him. He hit me with a $20 super chat. I appreciate that, sir. He says, "Happy birthday, man. Haven't had a chance to be around lately, fellas. Too much work, but always listen to the replay. God bless." And yes, and we appreciate that as well. If you can't catch us live, definitely catch that replay. And we always appreciate your support, passion. You are a cool dude. I did want to address a couple of things before I got into this what I wanted to talk about that's in this GameSpot article. There's some discussion in the chat about acquiring Japanese developers. There's a kind of a misconception in regards to that. People think it's impossible to own a Japanese developer. It's not impossible. There's just more hurdles for a foreign company to own a Japanese company than it is with just however it is normally for over here, where just anybody can own any company. Shout out to Jeff Grubb. Get Jeff Grubb. Gotta get Jeff Grubb back on DPS. I haven't talked to Jeff in a minute. What's up, bro? He's me with a $25 super chat. Says, "Happy birthday, buddy." Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Hope you're having a good one, man. I think I had your article up. I was going to discuss a couple of things that you brought up, but I may not have the time to, because I'm on short time here. I gotta get my kids ready for bed for school tomorrow in a few minutes. But shout out to Jeff, awesome guy. Why does it say Jeff? Oh, that's within this. Sorry, I'm looking at some of the article. It said click to.
Have a good night, Replicant, man. Have a good one.
Oh, take care, Replicant. I think when it comes to, what was I saying? I was talking about, the whole Japanese thing. So remember, Bethesda, ZeniMax Media is ZeniMax Media is right around the corner. Not literally right around the corner, but I live in Maryland, and they are originating in Rockville, Maryland. Bethesda is actually the name of the city that's right beside Rockville, where their headquarters are. And they are an American company that still owns, what's the name of that developer that is making Ghostwire Tokyo and did The Evil Within? That name, Tango Gameworks. Thank you. Tango Gameworks, which is a Japanese developer. So it's like that there are ways to have a first party that's a Japanese developer / publisher. It's just going to take a longer path to get there, but it's not impossible. Now, also, what else did I want to talk about? There was something else someone has said. It'll come back to me. Well, I want to discuss here about. Let me pull this art. So we have this GameSpot article that actually has the emails that Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft and now CEO of Microsoft Gaming, which is a new title for Phil Spencer, sent internally to the people within Microsoft, the Microsoft employees. Something that I saw people wondering about when it came to Bobby Kotick, and people were confused by the positive comments that were said by Nadella towards Bobby Kotick in regards to his quote unquote desire to fix the culture within Activision Blizzard. And some people were looking at that like, oh man, they're going to keep him on. Nothing's going to change under Microsoft. Where something in here that I read really kind of explained it all. So this came out yesterday, of course, but it really discussed the initial announcement, and then there were these emails, but then there's also, it talked about there was a investors call at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard, which is 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it talked about the people who were in that call. Here it is. So this is Satya Nadella speaking here in his email. He says, "Team, I'm thrilled to share that this morning we announced an agreement to acquire Activision Blizzard in an all-cash transaction valued at $68.7 billion. Blah, 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 blah. We know all that stuff. Effective today, Phil Spencer will become CEO of Microsoft Gaming. We know that." And then he said, "I will be hosting a webcast with investors at 6 a.m. Pacific time with Phil, Spencer, and Amy. as well as Bobby Kotick. Okay? CEO of Activision Blizzard. So the comments that are coming out from Satya, where he's speaking like highly of Kotick trying to fix the culture, is with Kotick there in the webcast. He's not going to be like, look, man, that dude, look, Bobby Kotick screwed all this up. This guy out here threatening his secretaries. He is a trash human being. Meanwhile, Bobby is on the screen. Everybody gonna be looking at his webcam. He's trying to keep a straight face without, showing anger. His face be turned all red, angry and stuff. That's not going to happen. Of course, if you're going to talk to investors and they have the opportunity to speak to you, they're going to talk about the only thing that anybody really wants to talk about when it comes to Activision Blizzard, this trash culture that's going on, sexual harassment, sexual assault, Bobby Kotick being involved and embroiled in it, him covering up rape, all these accusations. You think they're not going, you just acquired this company, they're not going to ask you about that? That's why he's there. That's why he's there in the webcast. So there's context to this that people didn't see, and they just think just like out of nowhere, like Nadella just decided to just speak highly of Kotick.
Yeah,
we already know for a fact, and it's been said that once this acquisition is complete in 2023, Kotick's out, and everything Activision Blizzard will report to Phil Spencer, CEO of Microsoft Gaming. If Kotick really was doing such a great job in fixing the culture, would they kick him out? No. If he was really doing such a great job in fixing the culture, would there still be a strike going on with Activision employees? No. So they didn't acquire Activision Blizzard to go business as usual. Just keep it going. Keep making Call of Duty, keep making these games, keep sexually harassing women. No, that's not what's going to happen. Clearly. Right. And Phil Spencer said it himself. He said it when he was like, and all those CEO from different platform statements about Activision Blizzard, when Jim Ryan came out and spoke out against it, and when Doug Bowser for Nintendo spoke out against it, Phil Spencer had said something that was very different than them. He said that we are reevaluating our relationship with Activision Blizzard. No one else said that. Only Phil was like, nah, fam, but we're going to have to talk about this. And then in January, he said that we have already reevaluated our relationship, and we've already made changes. And what we didn't know is the change was we buying them. So shout out to Big Cloud, shout out to Ryan with $5 super chat. He says, happy birthday, Slow Mo. Here's $5 to go check out some ankles. LOL. Salute to you and Forte. I knew it had to be some slander in that super chat somewhere. Shout out to you, Ryan, man.
And he could just give you $5 and just say happy birthday.
I know, right? He just couldn't do that, right?
No, he couldn't do that.
So I think that was important. I wanted to really kind of point that out because I thought it was important to show that. I also kind of think it's hilarious in Phil's email, and typical stuff here in Phil's email, but there's a part here that I laughed at when I read it. Where is it? Because he talked about social media, because I saw something. He said, please also refresh on our corporate social media guidelines.
I did read that,
because I saw some Xbox employees, right? From developers who work for studios, and I'm not going to call them out. Not that I feel like they should be called out, because I thought what I thought they said was right, spot on. But I saw people who work for Xbox Studios that was like, welcome to our new brothers and sisters from Activision Blizzard. Glad to have you guys along. And by the way, F you, Bobby Kotick. I was just like, oh, snap. Like, so it was some smoke being dealt out and opportunity. And I'm like, look, they just got them, man. Kotick is going to be here likely for a year and some change. Like, they look, we understand how you feel, because privately we feel the same way about this scumbag, but we can't be publicly saying F you. Like, I can't publicly say F you. You can't publicly say F you. Right. So we're not going to do that. Go ahead, man. My bad.
No, I was going to say the people don't realize it's like everybody wants. Listen, man, all of us want Bobby out of there, man. This is just this is bittersweet because we feel like Activision Blizzard is going to end up most likely in a better place. Not under the circumstances that everybody's going to be happy with, but at least we know that Bobby, for the most part, is going to be up out of there. But he was so entrenched at the top of Activision, where remember we were talking about they're gonna get him out of here. And then we found out, it's like, oh no, he ain't going nowhere. He was very determined to stay there, and the board can't get him up out of there.
Well, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that, and the reason is money. Because if he leaves, he gets nothing. But if they find a way to get him out with cause, which I don't understand how, like with everything that he's done, you can't find cause to fire this man. But whatever legalese there is there, I'm not into this stuff, but whatever legalese is there, like if they fire him with cause, he only gets like $300K. But if they fire him without cause, and there's actually says like due to a major change or like an acquisition kind of deal, which is exactly what this is, he gets $300 million. So of course, do I want $300K? Do I want $300 million?
Yep.
I mean, he may be a scumbag, but he's not an idiot. So clearly he wants that $300 million. So he's not gonna go anywhere.
No, he gonna literally sit there. He gonna be like, I'm
gonna clean up the culture here. Even though like you part of the reason why it's dirty. You can't be cancer and trying to cure the body. That's not how that works.
If you remember, this is about the same time now that the timelines are starting to line up. All the reports saying that this acquisition, because we all thought this happened really quick, and like it happened over the last 3 months. But if you go back over the last 3 months, going back before Christmas and stuff, or even before Thanksgiving, this is when Bobby started. That's when that whole terminology of him talking about I want to fix the culture and everything started changing, because they already probably came to terms and stuff, and they just had to work out the legalities on how much it was going to be. And then I think Microsoft went, I think from all the emails and stuff that I seen, or the articles I seen, was that they were offered a certain amount of money, then they declined, then they went back to the table with Microsoft, because it looks like Facebook was another person that they were trying to see was interested. They were just trying to amp the money that Microsoft was offering them to see if they can get more from somewhere else. And when nobody else was biting, they went back to Microsoft and they finalized the deal. But this is something that's been happening for a while. And if Bobby is smart, which we don't think he's the smartest person in the world, but when it comes to money, that man is not going to do anything that's going to jeopardize him getting his golden parachute.
Right.
He's going to sit there and be at the top of that company until basically they have that round table saying that we're turning everything over. He's probably going to sit down with Phil Spencer and everybody else, just like they did before, and they're going to talk about the direction of what's going to happen with Activision Blizzard, and you're going to see him silently just disappear.
Right. And he's probably never going to work in this in this industry again. Not after. He don't have to. Honestly, he can retire off. He can retire off of what he's making. Clearly, so yeah.
Shout out to you, Meds.
Yeah. Shout out to Meds. Appreciate you, bro. I do need to probably wrap this up at this point, but I just wanted to jump live real quick, really get in here and discuss this. And I was going to try to make a long-term video to really like get into the nuts and bolts of it with some fancy editing kind of stuff. And I was just like, you know what? Let me just go live and just talk about it. Like, just talk about this. And there was actually more I wanted to say. I just wish I had more time, and that's my fault for basically laying in bed all day on my birthday and watching Netflix.
Can't nobody be mad at you for laying in the bed on your birthday, man.
Yeah, look, it is what it is. But it's I appreciate everybody for coming through. I appreciate all the super chats and the well wishes and the happy birthdays from you guys. You guys warm this old man's heart and these old bones and ankles and knees that y'all love to joke on. I'm gonna get up out here. Check out BRAP tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. In the next 40 minutes, we're gonna go live and kind of discuss a lot of the same stuff with Enrique, B Money, Eric Jackson, and myself at Gaming Forte. And then tomorrow, check out Deep Damage Per Second Podcast on Gaming Forte's channel, 9 p.m. Eastern. We are going to have our guest, former ex Ubisoft developer, Agent Deli, who's been on before. He's going to come on and talk some industry stuff with us about how he feels about this acquisition, and just really just shoot the breeze and discuss gaming in general. Might have another guest on as well. I'll discuss that with Forte when we get off stream. I don't want to speak out of turn. But once again, thank you guys for coming through. Hope you guys have a great night and enjoy your games. Above all else, peace.
Peace. Where the heck did you get this over? Where did you get the Overwatch